got to be spoken on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, brought to you by the Ad Free Shows, Podcast Heat, and Wrestling According to Alba Networks. I'm the guy that wrestling's according to, John Alba. That's the broken one, the woken one, the spoken one himself. Mr. Matt Hardy, going through the motions.
Yes.
What's up, man?
Just hanging, man. You know, we're just here creating more content, creating another episode on our road to episode 200, which is coming up sooner rather than later.
Crazy.
And enjoying a beautiful day here in North Kakalaki.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it hot as shit down there?
Yeah, it is warm. It is warm, but I will take heat over cold any single day.
Well, you always take the heat. You always take the heat. We know this.
Give me the heat.
Well,
I have heat in this spot nonstop. Whether I did anything wrong or not, I have heat in this spot nonstop.
Even sometimes it's go away heat. I know you're not a big believer in go away heat, but I think at the Hardy compound there might be some go away heat.
not a big buyer. Not a big buyer into a go away heat.
That's okay. Evie's birthday this week, right?
Yes. Her birthday is today, the day this is dropping, July 11th, and she is 4 years old. It's hard to believe my baby girl
is insane, man.
Seems like she was born 8 months ago. Seems like she's still be a little baby with a little diaper going goo goo gaga.
What have you thought of her personality and how it's evolved in the duration of this podcast, even?
It's been good. Her personality is good. She's a very loving, sweet little girl. She loves Dada a lot. I think sometimes she loves Dada so much Mama gets jealous. But yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. She's funny. She's a very girly girl, which I love. And she's just a very sweet girl, which I love. And she's very charismatic, just especially with her mannerisms and her facial expressions and just the way she says things. She has a lot of energy. So she probably gets a lot of that emotional stuff from her mother. Just the way she's like, when she reacts to something, it's very emotionally driven and just the mannerisms are over the top. And I love it. So I love the fact that she has that. She's very performative in many ways.
I was going to say, she have the performance bug.
Maybe I think it's just wired. She's just wired like that. She's wired like that. You know, Wolfie is wired like that as well. You know, just they really are. Barty's just a straight up, you know, he's just a straight up blunt, throw it out, say it, doesn't think about it. He's just very, very blunt. He's very brutal, very much. This is what's on my mind. Here it is.
And Maxwell's very Brother Nero.
Maxwell's very think about things. He's very empathetic. He gets sad about people if someone gets hurt, or he's very empathetic. But he's also very rational. He's very smart. He's also he also could whip anyone's ass, so they won't push him. They won't push him, even though he really doesn't have that in him to do it. But he's definitely tough. He's growing up into a big kid.
I feel like that's good. The leader of the clan is the more rational, level-headed one. That's a good thing to have going forward.
Yeah, probably so, and it probably comes with age as well. So I think Barty will get there as well. I mean, the two guys, if my kids are going to be wrestlers, the two guys that definitely stand out as doing it, Barty is first and foremost, and then Maxwell would be second. Wolfie would be a great performer, but I don't think he's all into physically beating himself up so much. He would like to talk. He would love to go out and be a mouthpiece, but
he'd be like the genius.
He'd be like Michael Hayes.
Okay,
he would be like Michael Hayes. He'd go out and be super charismatic, and then he'd order Buddy and Terry to go do all the work and take all the bumps.
It's smart business, if you ask me.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's a good day at the office. So, okay. All right. Well, the Hardy kids are growing. Amazing, man. House Hardy's just by the day. It's growing more intuitive and inquisitive and wiser. So how about that? Happy birthday to the Gothic baby. We got the toddler, I guess, right? Or not even she's like Gothic pre-K kindergarten or something like that, right? That's nuts.
Yeah, getting ready to do kindergarten. Yeah, I mean, Evermore Hardy, 4 years old, the youngest. Maxwell Danger Hardy, 10 years old, the oldest. Wild.
Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Busy week here. We're on the stretch, the home stretch to TNA Slammiversary. Later on this podcast, you're going to hear a great interview that man I laid down with the president of TNA, Carlos Silva. Big get for us here on the Extreme Life. What can people look forward to in that conversation?
I think Extreme Life viewers are really going to get to know Carlos a little bit, and he's a really interesting cat to know. The fact of the matter that he comes from a legitimate athletic sports background in many ways, and doing so many things that are just looked at and categorized as legitimate sports, to come into the sports entertainment business. He's kind of learning on the fly, but he's doing a great job of taking in everything, and he's also doing a great job of elevating the brand of TNA, which kudos go out to Carlos for that.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about Slammiversary on the show. I have no doubt about that. It's a huge event coming up, but we also have a huge event coming up we got to talk about, and that is Kowloon, man. I know we talk about it every single week on this podcast, but this is our main event for 2025 here on the Extreme Life. Our biggest live event of the year, going down at the historic Kowloon, August 10th, just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. The doors are going to open around noon. You're going to be able to get some food. You're going to be able to get some drinks. You're going to get a great Extreme Life and Matt Hardy live show. You're going to get a great acoustic performance by Brother Nero, and then a meet, greet, delete, and eat.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun one, Matt. What can people look forward to here on your end?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a great meet, greet, eat, and delete. Dude, Kowloon, it's one of the best restaurants in the entire United States. And when I say that, I don't say that just to exaggerate it or to try and blow things out of proportion. I'm legitimate. It has an incredible menu. It's massive. It's hard to choose what you want because everything is so damn good. But you're going to be able to come in there. You're going to be able to meet myself and Jeff. We're going to be signing autographs. If you have an item you want signed, bring it. We're going to be taking photos with you. If you've never got a photos with Matt and Jeff Hardy, now is your chance. Now is your chance. If you are in the Northeast or anywhere in that surrounding area, come out and meet us. It's going to be a very special opportunity. There's going to be a limited number, so jump on that early, get it done, and get in that VIP line if you want that to happen. And then following that, myself and Jeff, we're going to be performing for you, doing an absolute Hardy party. And this Hardy party is going to rock and roll. It's going to start with myself and John Alba doing a live edition of the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, one that will eventually go up on the podcast. And it's going to be a blast. We're gonna interact. We're gonna tell stories. Who knows? Anybody could show up. There's always guests that are lingering around at these live events. And then following our Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast, Jeff is going to come and he's going to do an hour and 10 minutes of an acoustic concert. And it's going to be amazing. Jeff is really worked very hard. He's very passionate. He reminds me of when he first started wrestling, the way he loves his music right now and the way he's worked on his voice and the way he has bettered his voice. And he's going to get in there and do an acoustic concert. And I'm telling you, if you've never heard him perform, it's going to blow you away. And in the middle of all that, he takes a lot of pride in telling little jokes and telling some stories. So it's a really fun event, especially to see Jeff Hardy that vulnerable and in that sort of state where he's open and talking to everyone else. Because typically you don't get that from the elusive enigma.
No. HardyBoysLive.com is where you're going to get these tickets. HARDYBOYZ live.com or Kowloon's website. The VIP is $250. It's for the meet greet. You're going to get priority seating. You're going to get tickets to the event. You're going to get a picture with the Hardys. You're going to get a signed item. It's all inclusive. It's a fantastic deal in regards to what the market's calling for these days with wrestling, man. Wrestling's a hot ticket, and this is one that you want to get your hands on right now. It's a very hot ticket. It's funny. I was at SNY the other night, and as I'm talking about this with someone there, I'm like, yeah, we're doing this live event at Kowloon, and from across the newsroom, someone goes, Kowloon, you say? And they were just talking about how they went to college in Boston. They used to go to Kowloon all the time, and it's such an institution in the area. So we cannot wait to be there. It's going to be so much fun. HardyBoysLive.com. The night before, you and Jeff are at Limitless Wrestling, which they've got a meet and greet going for that too. LimitlessWrestling.com, where you can check that out. We're taking over New England. But the match was announced, man. This is a big one. First time, I believe, for the Hardys that they're doing something like this. You guys are facing Swipe Right, and they are a WWE ID team. That's a pretty big deal, man, for you guys to be linking up here and locking up here with one of these up-and-coming WWE ID teams. How do you feel about that?
Well, myself and Jeff, we also swipe right. Delete! 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 our swipe right might be a little more violent, though. It's not quite as loving and affectionate as theirs is. Yes, I am excited for this. I saw these guys wrestle, and I think they're two young, talented guys. I actually got to see them on NXT this week, and I thought they put in a hell of a performance for what they were asked to do. I thought they did well, so I am looking forward to this. I saw these guys wrestle at a Northeast Wrestling show and thought they had a lot of potential. So yeah, it is going to be cool. And considering the fact that they're WWID guys, we're really excited to go out there and just kind of take them for a test drive, man, see what they're all about.
Yeah, Ricky Smokes, Brad Baylor. You got to find out if they're ready for the big stage, right? They got to go through the Hardys en route there.
Everybody does, man. In pro wrestling, in tag team pro wrestling, everybody has to go through the Hardys. We have wrestled more different tag teams than any other tag team in history. I mean, because you look at the Dudleys, it's been a while since they've been active. All of the new tag teams, like, we have been doing that. We've been working against them. We've been working with them. We've been doing it all. And like, no one has had the longevity that myself and Jeff have had, especially with the difference of the different variations of matches and whatnot. I mean, we are a staple. We, the Hardy Boys, are an institution in tag team wrestling. So swipe right. They get to step up to the mic, man, and show us what they got on that night in Maine.
When you're working with a young team like that, I mean, these are young guys. How much are you in the planning process for a match letting them have input in? Or are you guiding it as the veterans? Are you putting them to the test to see what they can throw together? Because I know deep down you also have that little coaching mentality that drives you a little bit with working with young talent. So I'd love to hear what your mentality is there.
I mean, I always want to hear their ideas. I want to see what people have to present. I love it when people create ideas and they want to present these ideas to us. And a lot of times it kind of gives me a pretty good estimate of where they're at in their career, where they're at in their journey of being a fair to good to great pro wrestler worker. So yeah, I always dig that. And yeah, I love collaborating. I love taking input from teams that were wrestling against younger teams, and I love collaborating and kind of making things work so it works the best for everyone.
Excited for that.
I'm a greater good guy. You know what I mean? I want everyone to collaborate, and I'm looking to create the greater good in every segment I'm in.
Sure. Slammiversary is coming up. We have a very exciting episode next week planned that we'll talk about later, but I know you just mentioned you were tuned into NXT. You've seen Mike Santana. You've seen Joe Hendry all over the TV show. How are you feeling about all that going into the main event there?
I mean, I think everyone at TNA, we take a lot of pride in TNA right now. TNA is in this great resurgence, and we want the TNA world title to be back at TNA. So I really don't give a shit who wins, whether it is Joe Hendry or whether it is Mike Santana, but I want one of those guys to bring the TNA world title back home. I think that's what is of the utmost importance, and Slammiversary is the night to make it happen. You know what I mean? These two guys, they should put their egos aside and even work together if they have to, just to make sure and ensure that Trick does not leave with the TNA world title on that evening of Slammiversary.
Greater good thing, right? At the end of the day,
it is a greater good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot going on in wrestling. I mean, we are a week out from the All In show, which I'm really excited for. We had the media call with Tony Khan as we record this yesterday. We're got a chance to talk to him a little bit about what's coming up there. And one of the things that was discussed, and I'd love your input on this because, man, this blew up on the internet this week, was the idea of creative control in 2025. And specifically, people were insisting that Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks, has creative control in AEW, something that Tony Khan vehemently denied. You've worked firsthand with Tony Khan pretty closely.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe creative control exists in 2025 in wrestling like it did, say, in WCW in 1999?
I don't think creative control exists, especially in WWE and AEW. I think there is creative input. I think there's going to be times where Mercedes is going to give Tony ideas. Tony might not necessarily agree with it, but if she pushes hard and she really believes in it, he probably will let her do it. It is what it is. I saw some people bitching about the teleporting, when that first happened. That was part of the Matt Hardy thing. I wanted to do it. At first, I did not want to do it because I knew the AEW audience was different. but then Jericho was pretty insistent on it. And then I suggested doing it a different way where it could look like teleporting or it may not look like teleporting, where I wanted to just like, when I debuted, I wanted, or when I came down with Jericho's entrance, I'm sorry, I debuted the night before. I was in the rafters in the building. The next night before I came down with Chris Jericho, I wanted the camera to look up and see me in the arena in one place. And then I wanted to look all around the arena and then see me in a different place and then see me in a third place. And then the next thing you know, you see me in the ring. But I didn't want to actually do, you know, here is the shot. There's nothing in the shot. Boom, Matt pops up in the shot. And then Chris had been watching and he was dead set on doing the thing. What is the little creepy girl that kept doing the thing where she kept getting closer, maybe came out of the TV? What is that?
Like,
do you know?
Ring?
The Ring, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Chris was set, and that he said no. He said, I want to reshoot it. I did it in that way initially, and then Chris said no, I want to reshoot it, and we had to reshoot it pretty quick, whatever. And then that's, you know, what the fans ended up getting so upset about. The sickos, right? The sickos. The sickos did not like that, but Tony did allow us to do that. It is what it is. And then like I knew we rushed it so quick, and the way it was shot, it wasn't great. And I'll be the first to admit that. So if we were going to do that stuff, I wanted to do it where it could be done creatively, but it wasn't going to be an insult to the sickos, an insult to their intelligence, because I know how tough they are. I know how tough they are. It is what it is. But, you know, whatever. Chris ultimately had the last word, and we redid the shot, and we did it that way. And then, like, we didn't do it anymore. And I know Tony wasn't a fan of that, and he isn't a fan of that. But I'm sure there's stuff that Mercedes wants to do that Tony probably isn't crazy about. But if she can convince him to do it, then it could happen. It may happen. So as far as creative control, no one can say, like, this is what I want to do, and it fucking has to happen. That doesn't happen in WWE or AEW. But people can persuade a Tony or a Hunter to probably do something. Probably Tony more. I would guess they could probably persuade him more. So creative control isn't necessarily a real term, but people are going to be pitching ideas, and Tony's going to try and do what he thinks is best for his brand, and probably most likely what he would want to see, because he is trying to produce a problem. He is trying to produce a product in his own image, how he would like it. So, you know, and it is what it is. He's the boss. He's the guy who pays all the bills, so you can't blame him for that.
Those comments about the sickos. Listen to you. Well, the sickos were very happy with the FTR Outrunners match. I don't know if you got a chance to see all the discourse over that one, but man, I know you're a tag team wrestling enthusiast at heart, and this was a hell of a match that these two teams had. And I know you're a fan of both of them.
Yeah, I do. I enjoyed it. I think the Outrunners are the type of entertainment act that AEW needs more of. In all honesty, I think you need that balance, and the fact that they were booked against FTR has been great as heels. I'm a big fan of FTR. You know what I mean? They've been around for how long have they been around now? 10, 12 years on the main stage.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
How long? 10, 12 years? When did they debut on WWE?
Since they reached like mainstream status on TV every week, it's been about a decade.
Yeah, about a decade, right? So they've been around a decade.
Mm-hmm.
So I do. I enjoy their work. You know, they've done a decade. Hopefully they can go into their fourth decade, much like Jeff and I are doing right now. But I like their work. I appreciate them. And I thought they had a hell of a deal with the Outrunners. And I'm glad they put that on. And I'm glad they put the Outrunners in a big time match and let it be a nice, long, competitive match.
Well, and I'm like a big believer, and I've talked about this here before, that wrestling is often only as good as your near falls are. And if people are biting on the near falls, if they're believable near falls, that's really what can suck someone into a match beyond a level of disbelievability and actually start to really grab onto something. And I think FTR is just so fantastic at putting together matches with credible near falls that build to these big moments. And when you have a credible near fall with this fiery babyface team like the Outrunners that people want to get behind, ultimately that can provide you enough juice to giving them a really great moment down the line. So I'm all in on how FTR puts their matches together. I'm with you. I think they're one of the best ever. So yeah, I'm all in on that. And the Bucks, by the way, I think the Bucks are having an awesome run right now in terms of what they're doing. Right. Not just as characters, but I think their in-ring work has been right up there with some of the best stuff they've done in a long time. And they got that match with Swerve and Ospreay, and we were recording last week as Dynamite was on air. We had talked a little bit about the EVP stipulation being on the line, But now we also know Swerve and Ospreay, they can't challenge for the world title for a year if they lose that match at All In to the Young Bucks. You know, I love me some stakes, literally and figuratively, Matt Hardy. What do you think of that?
I like it. I do think it's good stakes. I would imagine a lot of the sickos, they would be thrilled to see the Young Bucks lose their EVP status, although they actually don't lose their EVP status. But to see it on screen, I'm sure they would be thrilled. And I like the fact that Swerve is very obsessed with being the world champion, you know, following his run, you know, as world champion, in a great run, and he's still killing it on every level. I like the fact that those stakes are there, that for a year they can't challenge. And then Will Ospreay, you know, there's so many people that think he is going to be the next guy to lead AEW into the future and be the champion. And at some point down the road, he certainly will be the champion. It is what it is. But, you know, those are two guys who are laser focused, hyper focused on becoming the world heavyweight champion. So to put that stake on the match, I think it's a good condition. And I think it does lead to a lot of intrigue of who's going to win, who's going to lose.
Yeah, I had a great interview with Hangman Adam Page that dropped. I should have dropped as we record this yesterday on the Takedown on SI, that I was really, really happy with. He was just fantastic. So check that out. He's in the main event, death match with John Moxley. It's going to be a wild event. We'll talk more about All In next week, I'm sure. But we got a great interview to show you with Carlos Silva. Before we can get to that, Matt, you know what I got to ask for? Please hit us with that Matt fact.
Matt fact. Matt loves to be underestimated.
You think people are still underestimating you in 2025?
Of course.
Why so?
People have underestimated me from fucking day one, John. Are you kidding me? I accept my position. It is what it is. Why so? For instance, I can't wait pretty soon. As opposed to sickos, I'm going to probably say internet nobodies. I'm going to say you should go watch next week's. You should go watch last week's episode, the one CM Punk goes to Saudi Arabia. So you can watch the internet nobodies come out and go, oh my God. And, you know, write in capitals and little letters, Matt Hardy shouldn't be wrestling in 2025 or whatever. You know, it's the people, I would say in capitals and small letters, to the people that think they know the business. It was just so absurd, you know, whatever. But I love that. And the fact that I get that people think, oh, this son of a bitch, he doesn't contribute anything. He's no good, blah, blah, blah. He can't move this. He sucks. Fucking Jeff's popular. Nobody likes him. But keep it going. Please keep it going, motherfuckers. I can't wait. I love it. And that goes for the internet nobodies and the sickos. Because I'm at a point right now where I fucking stand on my word, all 10 motherfucking toes.
You're being mean to the sickos. The sickos,
they're mean to me. If you dish it out, be ready to get it back, baby.
I think you're using that as quite a disparaging term. When Tony Khan said the sickos, I think he meant it as just the people who love pro wrestling and love to watch a lot of pro wrestling on their television rather than just the sports entertainment.
I'm going to do a poll, John. I'm going to say, do the sickos want me back in AEW? I'm going to put a poll up today, man. Okay. We'll see what the results are.
All right. We'll see what the results are.
Honestly, I get it. I think it's a great idea and some of this is in jest, but I think it's a great idea that Tony wanted to brand guys that were like diehard AEW fans.
They love wrestling. They love wrestling.
I think that's a great idea. But also with that same thing being said, I also think some of those people don't realize what certain people contributed to AEW. I still think the Jericho thing, you can't go forever. You have to change. I still think the Jericho thing, a lot of people are unappreciative of how much Jericho did do for AEW, those sicko fans. Once again, I don't think they realize what Jeff and I could have been there. And we've covered this. We've covered it to ad nauseum. Sure. You know, Jeff fucked up. Jeff is the first one to admit that. And then when we came back, you know, it was what it was. So, you know, who knows? Who knows where anything ends up? I will never say never. I wish the best for AEW. I hope AEW continues to grow. I hope they build bigger houses. I hope their numbers go up. I hope they have a great product. And I wish nothing but the best for AEW and Tony Khan, because the better AEW does, the better it is for the whole business. The better TNA does, the better it is for the whole business. The better MLW does, the better for the whole business. It's good. It's good for places to thrive. So it's nothing negative towards AEW. I have nothing but love for AEW, no doubt about it. When I was there, Tony's a great guy. Was really good to me. paid me very well, and I hope they do well. But at the end of the day, they do have some of those fans that are just so overly critical, like they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I mean, that sometimes that happens.
Dude, every promotion's got that though. Every promotion has
No,
those sorts of things.
you're not wrong. I mean, they don't. But I mean, that those are the people that they fall into the category of the internet nobodies.
There you go. There you go. The world according to Matt Hardy.
This is a loaded pro wrestling weekend. Next week, we got TNA Slammiversary. This week, we got AEW All In Texas. And then WWE is running it back with Saturday night's main event and Evolution. And if you got a couple minutes, just whip out my bookie because it's got the odds on every single match. See, Gunther's a heavy favorite over Goldberg in his retirement match, but is he truly next? Stranger things have happened in that ring. Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. The crowd's clearly behind LA Knight, but he's still a plus 350 underdog, with Seth being positioned as the guy for WWE. NXT relative newcomer Jordynne Grace. She's looking to shock JC Jane for the NXT Championship, and if you've been watching, you already know where all that value is hiding. At MyBookie, you're not just betting winners, you're betting entrances, turns, shock wins, and getting paid when you read the story right. Man, I love to make predictions here on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy. So I don't know, maybe you listen to the Extreme Life, get some ideas, and you pull out MyBookie and you lay some of your picks down. Sign up with code HARDY50, HARDY 50, and we'll back you on your first deposit. $100, get you $50 extra. $200, I'll get you a Benjamin. What you do with it is up to you. 2 shows, 1 weekend, bet smart, cash in only at MyBookie.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to each and every one of you the brand new president of Total Nonstop Action, TNA, Carlos Silva. He is a guy who is motivated. He is leading us into 2025 in the future, and this guy has big things planned, and big things are starting to happen at TNA. Very happy to have you, Carlos.
Awesome, Matt. Nice to see you.
Very good to be seen, brother.
We are really happy to have you here, Carlos. I'm very excited to have this conversation with you. You and I have chatted a few times to date already, and I know how important the Hardys have been to what we're seeing with TNA wrestling and the little renaissance that TNA is on. So I'll ask you off the bat, Carlos, what's it been like working with the legendary, the GOATs, the Hardy Boys?
I got to tell you, it's really been incredible. When I arrived, I think we were down in San Antonio in a medium-sized, nice, brand new arena. I showed up, and the Hardys were doing some local media. They were, we all know, like, some really nice local, a guy and a lady, and they were local anchors. And the Hardys were so on point, so professional, hit their marks. I remember grabbing them at the end of the interview. I just said, I got to tell you, this is going to be such a pleasure to be, working with such professional athletes like yourselves that have been in and around the game, because I've been around sports and media a long time, and I've gotten very lucky to work with some of the top athletes and performers in the world. And that's the Hardys. And so we're just so lucky to have them as part of TNA. And I'm happy to have them as, our partners too, because they help me and they tell me things that I wouldn't otherwise know. And I think we all raise each other, which is a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. I just want to say, Carlos, I'm very curious, what has been the greatest thing you have learned working in pro wrestling, considering you've done legitimate athletics where it's athletic contests and that's kind of where it ends, but now there's some performance that creeps into the conversation because we have a different kind of art in pro wrestling. What has been the thing you found to be the most different?
I don't know, different, but maybe my best surprise is, look, I've been in the live events business my whole career, and I know how hard it is to fill up stadiums, and I know how hard it is to bring fans together. But when I'm at a stadium and there's 4,000, 5,000 people outside an hour before doors open in crummy weather, with their belts on their shoulders and their T-shirts and their jerseys, like for the talent. That's a really special and unique. I don't take that lightly, because I've also, walked around New York City trying to get people to come to events that I've been leading, and it's not always easy. So the fandom is awesome. And look, on the backside of that, what happens are our meet and greets at the end of the night also just kind of warms my heart, because people will wait a half hour, an hour, 2 hours for a couple of minutes with their idols. And these wrestlers and our talent, they do such a great job of taking pictures and supporting them. And so, that's been my best surprise. I mean, all of the other stuff I've done, but I haven't really seen that. I probably haven't seen that level of fandom since I ran the NASCAR team back at AOL years ago. And there was this level, like sort of during the Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt era of NASCAR, that same level of fandom. I see that around TNA, and I see that around wrestling, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I think that the rabid fandom is like a huge part of what fuels that shared experience between wrestling fans and the wrestlers. And Matt and I have talked about this in the past. Wrestling's so unlike so many other industries where that wall can be very easily broken down and wrestlers become accessible. You mentioned the meet and greets. I know Matt has talked about this ad nauseum, how late he'll stay after some of these TNA shows to make sure that all those fans have an opportunity to meet the Hardys. What are those meet and greets doing for you guys from a business and a marketing perspective in helping grow your live attendance?
Well, I mean, they go both ways. It's a great question, John. As we sell and fill up arenas with thousands and thousands of fans, then a percentage of those fans are always buying merchandise and wanting to meet the Hardys and Nick Nemeth and Moose and Tessa and others. And there's just a direct correlation. Like every single piece of the business helps drive another part of the business. So as we get more people getting to know these wrestlers, then more of them are going to buy their merch. As they buy more merch, they're going to be reminded that the next time we come to town, they're going to want to come and see them live again. And that whole engine just continues to build and build. And then as we build out our media rights and our audience, it's just a perfect sports entertainment engine. And the meet and greets are at the center of that. It's really incredible. I mean, Jeff and Matt are the hardest working guys in town, and they'll stay till 2 a.m. if it means that they can put a smile on a fan's face. And I think that's pretty cool.
We did, whenever we were in the Dallas show, when we did Genesis back in January, we were there till 3:30. We signed for almost 5 hours, which was insane, and then we were just turning around and going straight to the airport following that. We literally, Ross, who takes care of us, he got us a great meal. We went to the hotel, we ate our meal, and then we went straight to the airport without sleep. And it is what it is. But I do know that meeting those people, and this has been something that has helped establish myself and Jeff as fan favorites and put so much equity in us, because if people meet us, they realize we are a human being just like them. We want to share an experience with them. They usually have a story they want to tell us about their childhood. They have memories that are really tied in a greater aspect of their life. And we're generational talents now. So to take a minute, 90 seconds out of our time and to talk with these people, it does a lot for us. And I know it does a lot for them, because that is what they want. They want an experience with guys they've seen on TV for 30 years. And that's myself and Jeff. So very happy about that. Let me ask you this, Carlos. What do you think now that we're in this resurgence? What are the things now that you individually, as the boss now, you want to focus on to try and continue to build the TNA brand?
Yeah, look, I mean, John and I have talked about this before. Our next media distribution deal, not just from a monetary standpoint, but from an audience growth standpoint, is the centerpiece of what we're doing. And that's going to be cobbled together in many different ways with a brand, a network, with digital outlets, where our pay-per-view goes. I've always approached this business. There's no one silver bullet that creates success. It's how do you line all of these up? And so as we build that out, and we're deep in the middle of it, and things are going great, that drives sponsorship. Sponsorship, to me, as a sports guy, sponsorship is a key part of value. As we bring cool brands together with the TNA brand, we help those brands grow, and they also help the TNA brand grows. And so that, again, is that engine
Amen.
that you build, and then that outlet goes into social, and it keeps going and going. So really, the distribution and the sponsorship pieces right now, Matt, is really where we're concentrating, and we're having some great successes.
Go ahead, throw out we have some great sponsors right now, right? We have some great sponsors. Go ahead and acknowledge those guys.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we signed up Bioflex. We brought in something called the injury report. Look, injuries are part of sports and wrestling. They happen. Their sponsor, they bring in some red light therapy to the athletes backstage, so that
it is great for the talent. The talent loves it. They
love it. Yeah, we did a great deal with Zonify, and we did a great special event with them, the Border Brawl that we did up in Canada at Niagara Falls, and. As a little preview for you guys, because I thought you might ask, we're going to roll out 2 new sponsors for Slammiversary. We haven't talked about it yet. We're going to start working with A-Game Endurance Drink. If you don't know or remember Johnny Damon, the great Boston Red Sox and New York Yankee player who won 2 World Series, he's got a product called A-Game. They're going to come in and be our official endurance drink starting at Slammiversary. Super excited. And then Markovic Estates, which is going to be our official sangria. They're a winery and spirits company actually here in Long Island. They're going to come in and we're going to build out a special VIP area at Slammiversary powered by Markovic Estates Sangria. And so those deals literally hot off the presses this morning, and wanted to share it with you guys. Yeah, it's great to keep ringing the bell.
Fellas, it is time to enter that room dick first. Blue Chew isn't just a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk, and maybe even a gym membership as well. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. See, all you gotta do is pop a Blue Chew, and all of a sudden the TSA is gonna be calling you sir before every pat down, because they're not gonna be able to believe what they see. Especially when Matt Hardy's doing all that travel through all the airports, trying to get all around the country. We got a bunch of Hardy parties coming up. Well, you're going to get a Hardy party in your pants. And I emphasize a hard party in your pants with Blue Chew. This isn't just about performance. This is about legacy, or third legacy. Give our group chat something to talk about. You know, when you lay it down, they're talking about how it gets up. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com, and we got a special deal for all of our listeners. As always, you get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code HARDY at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head to BlueChew.com for details and safety information. And a big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring the Extreme Line.
Yeah, awesome.
2000s baseball and sangria. Now you're talking John Alba's language right there. I want to piggyback off something that you were talking about with the media rights distribution, though, Carlos. How are you leveraging some of the established names that TNA has, like the Hardys, like Nick Nemeth, into conversations like that and trying to get TNA a higher profile in its distribution?
Every single conversation. We've talked before about, Joe being, on these big stages, Joe Henry this year being on these big stages. We talk about the Hardys and how legendary they are. I talk about the meet and greets all the time, because I think understanding that connection with the fans for the distribution partners is very important. They aren't always the biggest wrestling fans, so you need to create that connection with them. You just keep going down the list, whether, it's Nick, it's Masha, it's Tessa, Indy, Hartwell. I mean, we've got so many stars. Moose has got our X Division belt. Moose was a 8-year NFL player, like an absolute amazing athlete. And all of those pieces go into talking about these distribution deals, because the distributors need to understand the excitement that our wrestlers bring into the ring and outside the ring, because I think it's important to create the connections on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely hit that, Matt. Let me ask you: do you feel that there's been a change in any of the momentum internally within TNA since this new team and Carlos's squad came in and tried to steer the direction a little bit differently?
Yes, absolutely. It's been a lot more clean. There's been direct answers. If you are looking to ask up the chain, there's a very direct line of who you asked. I mean, there's Tommy Dreamer, there's Carlos. We know who everybody is and what the position is. And I'll be honest, Tommy Dreamer and Carlos, they're both no bullshit guys. You know what I mean? They'll give you a straight answer. There was a thing we had with Ross where just a while back we weren't able to give the people the front row chairs because there was some sort of lapse and they were going to get there a day or two late at a big show we were at. And Ross was like, "Oh, well, you got to tell the guys, Matt, let's have the Hardys do it because they're popular. You won't get heat. Just tell these people we're not going to have your chairs today, but we'll ship them to you. We don't even want them to be in the crowd because we don't want to get, nacho cheese on it and mustard on it from hot dogs and whatnot. We want to just ship them to you so they're pristine." And I talked to Carlos about it, and Carlos said, "No, I'll take it." And Carlos walked right in that VIP, and he was the boss. He stepped up and he said, "Look, these shares didn't happen. I apologize for it, but we're going to get them to you ASAP as soon as possible." And dude, I'm a big advocate when you're doing business. Honesty is the best policy. And for that I gained a huge level of respect for Carlos stepping up and doing that and not putting myself and Jeff in that situation. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's the boss, and he was saying like, I'll take accountability for it, whatever. And I love the fact that he stepped up like that. So yes, there was some times before where people were kind of not getting straight answers, which is very frustrating. And a company doesn't thrive if you're not getting straight answers. You need two straight shooters that are going to tell you it is how it is. And that's what we have right now. And it's been very, very nice. And these guys are motivated. They're straightforward. And we have a group of talent that is absolutely amazing. There's no one doing bullshit politics, trying to get ahead of anybody else. It is everybody working together for the greater good. All of our talents are selfless, and they want to put on the best show possible. There's no individual politics like you would see back in WWE heydays or even in AEW, whatever. Everyone is working for the greater good and to put TNA back on the map where it is. And if we get a TV deal, it's a game changer because we have a hell of a product right now, and it is going to change everything for TNA once that happens.
When that happens.
Yep. So when do you see that potentially happening, Carlos?
It's always hard to say. I mean, you can make promises. Big companies have different priorities. I do think as we work through the summer and like the early fall is the time frame for that. And I'd like to tell you it's in 2 weeks, but I think we're gonna have probably work through it for the next 60 days or so. I feel pretty good about it, but like everything, you got to dot the I's and cross the T's and get there. And we're just going to keep working on a number of different possibilities because I find that if you have more possibilities, and we do, it always gives you the best result. And Slammiversary is going to be a big part of raising the bar again, and I think it'll help to get a closed deal.
So what do you wear when you live in what Rebecca Hardy would call the forest, the Hardy compound, and you have to make sure you're trekking your way through every single day while overseeing a gaggle of kids and remaining comfortable in the process? Well, of course, you might pick up the Marin or the Omen boot from Brunt. That's at least what Matt Hardy did, and boy, howdy, is it paying dividends. You see, choosing work boots used to mean sacrificing comfort or durability. If they felt good, they didn't last, and if they lasted, they wrecked your feet. Well, Brunt Workwear finally ended that trade-off, designing boots that withstand the toughest job sites or toughest environments while feeling as comfortable as your favorite sneakers. Founder Eric Gerard grew up blue-collar. He started Brunt after his friends in the trades encouraged him to start a workwear brand that was really built for them. And that's why all Brunt products are named after the guys that he actually grew up with. And these might be the most comfortable work boots on the entire planet, and they also deliver real performance on the job. Whether you need waterproof, safety toe, or soft toe, pull on, or lace up, they got you covered. They're so confident these boots will blow you away that they even let you try it on the job, or in Matt Hardy's case, on the compound. So for a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt with code HARDY, that's HARDY, at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com and use code HARDY, and you're all set. And after you buy, do us a favor. When they ask you where you heard about Brunt, tell them it was from The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy. These Brunt boots are comfortable right out of the box. You see, most boots require you to actually break them in, but that's not the case, especially if you're chasing around a gaggle of kids on the Hardy compound. Brunt didn't just make a durable work boot, they reinvented comfort for the hardest workers out there. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt by using code HARDY at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com, use code HARDY, and you're all set. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them The Extreme Life sent you.
Exactly. Let's talk about Slammiversary. How do you feel? I love the fact that we like stepped up and we said, let's do UBS Arena and let's sell as many tickets that son of bitch as we can. And that's what we've been doing. It is going to be, no doubt, one of the biggest TNA shows ever. I mean, there's a possibility. It could be the biggest show ever, but it's going to be a very special night. We have a very special card already in place. And tell me, how you feeling about Slammiversary, Carlos?
Look, when I got brought into the organization, I happen to know John Ledecky a little bit, so from it being in and around the Washington sports scene. If you don't know John, John's a owner of the Islanders and helped get UBS Arena built. Is a super enthusiastic and exciting guy, and he's super excited about bringing pro wrestling and TNA to UBS. And so that's where it all started. Went up to the Islanders game. We did some promotions. It's been building. The storylines that have started to happen, really coming from the beginning of the year, working through the WWE and the NXT partnership have just continued to build and build and build. And we just keep adding to the card. The card keeps getting more exciting, whether it's our, our world championship belt, main event, with Trick and Joe, and Santana and the Hardys in a ladder match. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better than the Hardys in a ladder match. And we've got a title for title match going on, with Masha and JC, and that's going to be amazing. And it you just keep going down the card. I mean, I was reviewing the card coming into my media day today, and I was excited even reading some of the matches that, you almost forget. I didn't even mention that Leon and Moose are going to be fighting for the X Division Championship. Moose is trying to become the longest ever. Leon's trying to become the youngest ever in that. And there's more. And there's going to be a few more surprises because Tommy and Hunter and Eric and the team are all working on a few things that we're going to still add to it. And it's going to be a great night.
Yeah, there's going to be some great surprises coming. And I want to say this. I've worked personally hand in hand with Leon. I'm very invested in him. And it is my job. I consider it my job, not necessarily Jeff's. Jeff goes out. He's the big rock star. He does that. But it's my job to make sure Leon gets to where he needs to be. In this match he's going to have with Moose, win, lose, or draw, he is going to become a huge star following this match because Leon has everything it takes to be a pillar of TNA, and he will be in the future. Watch and see. Mark my words on that.
Yeah, and let's just remember for all the fans, he was the #1 guy on SportsCenter when he did the big dive off the X match.
True.
And I mean, and that's because he's a great athlete and a great performer, and I think we'll see that at Slammiversary for sure.
So let me piggyback off that, Carlos. I know you're big on recognition. You've posted about that publicly, recognizing employees, recognizing wrestlers.
Yeah.
Let's use the platform here. Who's someone in TNA right now, other than Leon Slater, who you just mentioned, who's really caught your eye and you could see being a player in the industry?
You're taking my all-star. You're taking my all-star away from me, John. It's that's what we do. That's what we do behind the scenes. I'll be honest, John. I don't know that I can really name one because we've got it on both sides. And that's the beauty of TNA. We've got this incredible young talent, whether it's Masha or it's Leon, but then we've got incredible legends like the Hardys and Nick and Moose and others. And so that's what I feel is so exciting about TNA is that we can celebrate these great athletes and these great wrestlers on their way up, as well as reinvigorate their careers and continue to bring them to the fans on a big stage, well into their, later years. And if you look at what Jeff and Matt are doing now, I mean, they're still doing all the craziest stuff that you can imagine that they were doing 20 years ago. And so, for me, that's really how I see sort of our locker room, and we're trying to celebrate the locker room every week with these all-stars. And, it's fun. It's fun for me. And I think it's been fun for all the talent as well to sort of get the recognition of their peers in the locker room together.
And most importantly, Carlos, it is good for morale. Morale is very high at TNA right now. It is one of the best locker rooms I've ever been in. So kudos to you for doing that.
Well, thanks, man. I have to tell you, it's the it's the thing I most look forward to every weekend when we get together. Is being able to spend a little time, give the team an update on where we are, and do a little celebration. And I think that's what that's what sports and entertainment's all about. It's having a good time. And I think we've kind of gotten that focused around everyone having a good time together and in a team atmosphere.
I know you got a super busy day, Carlos. You're hitting a bunch of different media spots. UBS Arena, July 20th, TNA Slammiversary. Tickets are flying. Get yours now. Anything else you'd like to add here on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy before we let you go?
No, I just say it again. Look, Slammiversary is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And the rest of the season as we go through the fall and the winter is if you get a chance, come out, see TNA live, tune in, check out our social channels. Just a lot of great content and fun storylines that are going on. And, please, we look forward to seeing you. And if you come out, please grab me and say hello. Love to see you at UBS Arena on July 20th.
Something else I'd love to add to that, Carlos, something I've been able to tell from my experience, especially from the meet and greets. Like recently we were just in Phoenix, right? And we hadn't been there in Phoenix for quite a while. So many people came up to myself and Jeff in the meet and greet, said, man, please come back. We hope you come back soon. This was a blast. We haven't seen TNA. We haven't been keeping up with TNA, but we came out to the show and it was one of the best live shows I've ever seen. We are also in TNA bringing back casual fans, which is a real thing. People who don't watch wrestling all the time, people just go, oh, there's pro wrestling in town. Let's go check it out. But they don't give a shit about what happens in the locker room and behind the scenes and whatnot. They're just there to come be entertained by pro wrestling. Those are real fans. And the fact that we are bringing them back. For the longest time, TNA just had like a core group of fans. For the last few years, they would come to these smaller venues. They would have hundreds of fans at some things. And it was like that core group of fans. But now we have done this resurgence. We have some star power. We're building people. We're telling good stories on TV. And I think we have a smart psychology as far as week to week, as far as the television programming. And we are bringing those casual fans back and they're growing. And if you are a casual fan who hasn't seen TNA in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, now is the time to check it out. And now is the time to discover it because we're doing some of our best work ever. Slammiversary feels like a WrestleMania. It feels like a big, big show. And I'm really hyped to be on it. And once again, Carlos, thank you so much for joining us today.
Awesome stuff from Carlos Silva there, man. Really, really enjoyed that interview. Any takeaways from you about that?
I love his motivation. I love his positivity. I love his optimism. I love his drive. And I love how, to him, he doesn't see a limit that we can take TNA to, which I feel I'm very like-minded in that way. I think you have to be able to look beyond the pale. You have to be able to look outside the box to grow and get to the next stage of the game. And I think he's willing to do that.
Well, we want to help you grow here on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy. You go on over to advertisewithhardy.com, promote your business to the extreme, get out in front of thousands of listeners and viewers every single week here on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy. It's always a good time. We love doing this show, and we'd love for you to partner up with us here, as you've heard many great partners this week on the podcast. We got an awesome summer ahead here, man. Slammiversary coming up next week on the podcast. We got Mike Santana. I can't wait for him to hop on the Extreme Life. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Go check that out. Check out our CM Punk episode from last week. Check out all the archive, extremehardy.com. Anything else you want to say to the die-hardies out there, my friend?
The one thing I would like to say to the die-hardies, if you guys watch TNA Impact this week, which hopefully you did, you will see the 8-man tag where myself and Jeff, we were in there. We were teamed up with the Rascals, and it was a little different version of the Rascals because Trey wasn't cleared. Hopefully he will be cleared by Slammiversary. We'll see. But the Rascals are going to be in the 4A ladder match regardless. And we took on First Class, and then we took on the Nemesis. And at the very end, Trick Williams ended up hitting me with the TNA World Title, which allowed AJ Francis to nail me and actually pin me and beat me, and we ate another L. We ate another loss. So myself and Jeff, we've ate quite a few losses since we lost the titles. So next week on Impact, I'm not going to give away spoilers, but Jeff and I, we go to the ring, and it is one of the most real, sincere promos or message that I've ever seen. It's like having a conversation with the audience. And we say, for Slammiversary, myself and Jeff, we're going to put ourselves in a do or die situation. If we don't get this done, if we don't win these titles at TNA Slammiversary, then maybe it is time for the GOATs to step away and roll into the TNA Hall of Fame and roll into the WWE Hall of Fame. So it's a very emotional speech. It's a very emotional segment. I want each and every one of you to tune into that and see this, because this happens right before we step into the big match at Slammiversary, which is a 4-way ladder match. Myself and Jeff, we are putting ourselves in a do or die situation. It's make or break.
The words have been spoken. We'll see you next time right here on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy.
My skin's dying because you're under it. I'm done lying to myself for this, for all the wonder in believing that it's making me weak. I'll fade away and classify myself as obsolete. My skin's dying. Quite done lying.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment, and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105 or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.